Hannah Ferrier didn't just work on Below Deck Mediterranean, she defined it. From season 1 all the way through season 5, she carried the heart, the humor, and the chaos of the interior team, becoming one of the most recognizable personalities in the entire franchise. But behind the charming smile and quick wit that fans adored, there was a storm quietly building, one that would eventually explode into one of reality TV's most unforgettable exits. Before we dive deeper into the emotional truth behind Hannah's departure, the behind-the-scenes tensions, and the shocking way her story still impacts the franchise today, make sure you like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any of our deep dives into Bravo's biggest moments. From the very beginning, Hannah was the beating pulse of Below Deck Med. She wasn't just the chief stew. She was the face of the show, the spark that made every charter unpredictable, and the reason many fans tuned in week after week. For 5 seasons, her tenure was unmatched, except by one other Bravo legend, Kate Chastain. It's rare for any chief stew to hold on that long, especially under the pressure of cameras, guests, and captains who all expect perfection. But Hannah made it look effortless until things began to shift. During those early seasons, Hannah found support and comfort in friendships with crewmates, one of the strongest being Aesha Scott. When Aesha first joined the crew, she brought positivity, humor, and the kind of energy Hannah instantly connected with. The two became fast friends, both on screen and off. Fans loved watching their dynamic, and for a time, it seemed like Below Deck Med had a stable interior team that truly clicked. But the world of reality TV is never that simple. Eventually, tides turned, captains changed, loyalties shifted, and the atmosphere grew heavy. Even today, years later, Hannah admits something surprising. She still can't watch Below Deck Mediterranean. Not because she dislikes Captain Sandy, not because she's upset with Aesha, but because the emotions tied to the show are still too raw. During her interview with Us Weekly at BravoCon 2025, she dropped a bombshell that immediately sent the Bravo fandom into a spiral. She confessed, "I don't watch Below Deck Med. It's like the only Bravo show that I don't watch." Imagine giving years of your life to something, only to realize you can't even look back at it. That statement alone told fans everything. Whatever happened on that boat didn't just end when cameras stopped rolling. It stayed with her. And it wasn't just a casual refusal. Hannah explained she watches every other Below Deck spinoff. She's watched Captain Sandy on Captain Lee's season. She's watched Aesha flourish on Below Deck Down Under. She supports them. She doesn't avoid them. But the moment she tries to watch Below Deck Med, something inside her shuts down. She described turning on the show and turning it off within 30 seconds. That kind of reaction isn't about entertainment preferences, it's about trauma, memory, hurt. To understand why Hannah still feels this way, we have to rewind to the event that became one of the most controversial firings in Bravo history, Season 5. The seas were calm, but the tension was not. Malia White, the bosun at the time, reported Hannah for having a CBD vape and Valium on board. Hannah had a prescription for the medication, but maritime law required her to declare it properly. She didn't. And Captain Sandy, citing regulations and safety policies, made the call to terminate her. The moment was cold, blunt, and devastating. Not just for Hannah, but for the viewers who had grown with her for years. It felt abrupt. It felt deeply personal. And it sparked a feud that would last long after the cameras stopped. Many fans believed Hannah was treated unfairly. Others believed Sandy was simply doing her job. The debate still divides Bravo audiences to this day. But one thing became clear. Hannah's exit wasn't just a storyline. It was a life-changing moment for her. For years, Sandy and Hannah remained at odds, exchanging subtle shade, passive interviews, and never fully healing from what happened. But in 2024, everything changed. Sandy traveled to Hannah's hometown in Australia, and the two unexpectedly reconciled. Not quietly, not privately, publicly and profitably. They launched City Cruises Live, an event series that placed both women on stage together, addressing fans, answering questions, and turning their reunion into one of the most talked about Bravo moments of the year. Fans were shocked. 2 women who couldn't stand each other, now working side by side again? It was the plot twist no one could have predicted. But reconciliation doesn't erase history. It doesn't delete the years of strain, the emotional toll, or the reason Hannah can't stomach watching the show she helped build. Even with peace restored, her attachment to Below Deck Med is complicated, layered, and still painful. To understand why Hannah Ferrier's legacy still echoes through Below Deck Mediterranean, you have to look at what happened after she left the show. Her departure didn't create a power vacuum. It created a permanent shift in the tone, the cast energy, and the way viewers connected with the series. Fans who had followed her journey from the beginning immediately noticed that something fundamental had changed. Hannah wasn't just a crew member. She was the anchor that made the chaos feel human. When she exited, Aesha Scott stepped into a new era. Aesha, once Hannah's protégé, rose to become the chief stew under Captain Sandy. It was a full-circle moment, but also a reminder of how long Hannah had shaped the yacht's dynamic. Aesha herself has always spoken warmly about Hannah, describing her as a mentor and friend. But even as the show moved forward, viewers sensed an empty space where Hannah's presence used to be. Hannah, meanwhile, found herself in a strange position. After years of being celebrated on screen, she suddenly became an outsider to her own story. The emotional weight of her firing, the embarrassment, the confusion, the heartbreak, lingered with her far longer than the cameras ever captured. And when she tried revisiting the show, even out of curiosity, her body reacted before her mind could. Switching it off within 30 seconds wasn't a dramatic flourish. It was an instinct of self-protection. But what many fans don't realize is that Hannah's story didn't truly end when she walked off that boat. In fact, it opened an entirely new chapter that no one saw coming. She built a life in Australia, focused on her family, and stepped into new career opportunities that didn't require a uniform, a demanding captain, or the constant pressure of charter guests. She found peace, but she also found something else: clarity. During BravoCon 2025, when she spoke about her inability to watch the show, she wasn't bitter. She wasn't angry. She was honest. She explained that she had watched Sandy on Below Deck when she filled in for Captain Lee. She watched Aesha thrive on Below Deck Down Under. She could support them without hesitation. But the moment Below Deck Mediterranean appeared on her screen, the memories resurfaced too strongly. It wasn't about people. It was about the place, the environment, the history. And yet, something remarkable happened in 2024 that showed Hannah's capacity for growth. After years of tension and unresolved conflict, Captain Sandy visited Hannah in Australia. It wasn't a scripted reunion. It wasn't a PR stunt, at least not at first. It was a moment two people needed in order to move forward. The visit led to conversations, apologies, and a realization that perhaps they had both been carrying weight from the past. Their reconciliation shocked Bravo fans. These were two women who had spoken sharply about each other for years. Two women who had been painted as enemies. And suddenly they were sitting together, smiling, laughing, and even planning joint appearances. City Cruises Live became a symbol of that unexpected truce. Fans lined up to see them together, not just for nostalgia, but because their reunion represented something deeper. Closure. Growth. The possibility that even the most damaged professional relationship could be rebuilt. Their events sold out. Their chemistry felt genuine. And for the first time in a long time, Hannah was able to talk about her past with empathy instead of defensiveness. But here's the twist that makes Hannah's story so compelling. Even though she reconciled with Sandy, even though she supports Aesha, even though she has moved on with grace, she still can't return to Below Deck Mediterranean, and maybe she never will. Because some chapters aren't meant to be reopened. Some stories don't need to be rewatched to be understood. Hannah lived it, she survived it, and she grew from it. That's why, even after all the success, all the healing, and all the opportunities, she protects her peace by staying away from the show she helped build. In a way, that decision tells us more about Hannah Ferrier than any episode ever could. It proves that she values her well-being over nostalgia. It proves that healing doesn't always mean returning. And it proves that you can make history, even if you never look back at it again. Hannah's legacy remains untouched. Her impact on the franchise is undeniable. Her story is one of resilience, reinvention, and emotional honesty, and that's why fans still talk about her today. Whether or not she ever returns to Bravo, her name will always be synonymous with the golden era of below-deck Mediterranean. And as the waves keep rolling, the charters keep coming, and new stews step onto the med deck, one thing will always be true. Hannah Ferrier changed the course of the series forever. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into Bravo's biggest behind-the-scenes stories, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment telling us what moment you want covered next.